everyone. Welcome to our radio show Storytime, presented by CEI and supported by Erasmus+. Today, our topic is school and university life. We will be talking about our stories from our experience, and we would like to introduce. So, my name is Yeva, and I'm from Lithuania.
My name is Naitis and I'm from Iceland.
My name is Tortis and I'm also from Iceland.
And I'm Victoria from Ukraine.
So, first of all, we would like to tell a few stories about teachers. For this?
Yeah, so in high school I had this very funny Spanish teacher. One time she started crying because another girl in my class, my friend, she notices that she was teaching the wrong grammar. So she was mixing something up, and she said to her, Eden, in the book it's like that, but you're writing it like that. What's right? And she's just crying and crying and crying. Then another story about the same teacher is that she was very fun and she tried to make the classes very interesting. So like this one time, she decided that we should learn bachata, and everyone was learning bachata and it was going really good.
Bachata is a type of dance,
Yeah.
Latino dance and music.
And I got a little bit too excited, and I have this friend who's a boy and he's very strong, so he lifted me up like in a circle and was spinning me around, and she didn't notice me because she sometimes she doesn't really look around, so she sometimes forgets that she's in a crowd. So she just walked into me and my foot slammed into her into her foot, and she said that the next day she came and said, Tortis, I have this big bruise on my leg after you, and now I can't wear my mini shirts anymore.
Yeah, she said, I can't wear my miniskirt on the salsa night
Yeah.
tomorrow. And we were like,
Oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to. And she was so funny. One time she came into class, and okay, there was some stuff on the ground and normal because it was the last class of the day, and you throw stuff on the ground and like that. So instead of teaching us, she was like, no, kids, I can't teach in an environment like this. You need to clean up. So she went out and she got a broom and she made us sweep up the classroom instead of learning. And she made us rearrange the whole classroom and sweep everything up instead of just learning.
I also remember every time we had a Spanish exam, she always rearranged the classroom because she didn't think our arrangement of the tables was good enough. She wanted everything to be in a straight line and everything like that. And I remember when I was in my third year in the school, our classroom was it was the other way around than the other classrooms. So we faced another another way than the other classrooms, and always when we had exams in Spanish, she always wanted us to turn 90 degrees, so we always had to turn every table.
Yeah.
Because she just felt like that was the way we were supposed to look.
Maybe she was following some feng shui techniques.
Yes.
Exactly. And she used to, in third grade, she used to teach me the first class on a Friday, and she showed up 5 times. She went out partying the night before, and
Salsa night.
Yeah,
always
salsa night, and
nights.
she was too hungover to come early on Friday morning, so she just didn't come, and it was a thing. Everybody knew that you had the class off on Fridays because she was hungover at home. But yeah.
There was also, I remember now that this winter, I think, I went to theater, I went to a movie, I went to a ballet, and every time I went, I met her. And she sat next to me, and behind me. It was very weird. I remember I tweeted about it because I thought it was so weird.
Yeah, but she is a very good teacher, but she's also so funny, and she has weird quirks about her that she every student knows, and she's known for that. So, yeah.
I also had an English teacher in my elementary school who always stood by the tablet writing board, and whenever we had to have our books or exams or anything like that, he just threw them and tried to like make them land on our tables, and that was like just a start of our normal class. He just throwing the books, and like the hardest ones in the back, it was very hard. And sometimes they hit the heads of some students, but
Exactly. Okay. My English teacher in grade school was probably one of my favorite teachers because we got along and then we hated each other. And like one time, I sticked my tongue out at him, and he was like, "30s, go out of my class, and you come back tomorrow, and you're gonna apologize to me because I stuck out my tongue to him." But he would like walk around with his big stick, and like, if you weren't paying attention, he would like slam it on your table. He would like, so it'd be like a big noise that he would slam. And like he was so fun. Like, okay, if you would come into the room and you would have like headphones on, he would cut them. So he was like he was extreme, but everybody liked him because it was so funny. Like I remember one time he made me lay on top of the table, and he was like, "This is not what you do." He was like making a sample out of me, and like if you, let's say, if you were like reading a text and you would pronounce R like R, he would make you stand, like he would give you a warning, but after that he would make you stand. So if he gave you a warning and you said R again, but not R, he would make you stand the whole next class. And I had a very hard time with it. So like a whole year, I spent like almost a half of the class just standing while I was studying.
I have also one teacher who liked to throw things at students. It was my chemistry teacher at high school. She was like really short, like 1 meter 30 centimeters, or like really short. So when she needed to write something, and chemistry class, we had to write a lot of stuff like formulas and everything. And she took a chair and stood on the chair and was writing on the blackboard. And like we always laughed at it because it was so funny. And she's like being serious, right, and everything, but then at the most unexpected moment she just turns around really fast, and whatever was in her hand at the time, like a chalk or I know some piece of cloth, she just throws it at anyone. And it hits someone in the head or somewhere. And then everyone is silent, but not for a long time.
I also had an interesting chemistry teacher. Whenever we had a test, he would notice if you have a piece of paper where you have written something for yourself, but if you had a book in front of you, he would never notice. It would be easier to cheat on your test by having a book because he would never notice it.
I remember now also that there was a teacher who was teaching me history in my high school. And when he was teaching me, he was like 6 years old or something. But when he was younger, somebody told him that the girls were always staring at his ass because he was very fit. He was like in the national team in handball and everything. So yeah, he was teaching my mom. My mom is 35 years older than me, and he was teaching her, and then he was very young, and she was like, "Wow, he's so cute." So yeah, somebody told him that the girls were staring at his ass, so he just started practicing writing on the board behind him, behind his back. So he just started like
He was facing the class.
yeah, so he just started facing the class and writing on the board like this, and he did it. And when he was teaching me, he always wrote like that, and he actually had a really good handwriting like that. He had a lot of practice.
Superpower.
Yes.
I had another teacher which was my music teacher, and when he would point at things, he would do it like he was fucking. You know, when you when you fuck someone off, like the signal that you do with your hand, he would always like point with that. And like, of course, if you're teaching like 6 or 7-year-old kids, they're gonna ask you like, why are you fucking at us? Like, why are you doing that? Why? So like he got very frustrated because he had like classes the whole day, and in every class somebody would ask him. But like instead of just quitting it, he like he became so angry at people that he would like yell at them like, "I'm not fucking at you, I'm pointing." But then he would like do it like 5 times a day, and at the end he would be like red. His face would be red. He was so mad. But still to this day he does it. Like my little brother had him, and he still does it. And I'm like, if you've been teaching for like 20 years, why don't you just stop doing it if you're always getting questions? Like this 6 and 7 years old, of course they would ask you. Yeah.
Well, I had also in high school a physics teacher, and well, at her classes usually we misbehaved most of the time, and we were like shouting all the time. And her reaction always was to calm us down, to come to the first row of tables and start hitting her palm on the desk. So imagine you're like sitting, and then the palm hits your table, and the table is like trembling. And the students who were always sitting in the first row, they were like always scared of her. And one day they decided like to make a prank on her. So they found some kind of needle, like a staple, and put it on the place where she usually like hits the table. So again, the class is misbehaving, like everyone shout, and she comes and she like hits her palm on that place, on that staple. And I don't know, she doesn't feel it or something. She like, everyone was quiet after that.
Maybe she saw it and she just decided to like make a statement.
I have no idea, but actually we were quiet after that, but not she. Yeah.
I also have a teacher who had his own method of calming the kids. So whenever the kids were shouting or talking very loud, he would just shut up in the middle of the sentence whatever he was talking and just look at us like seeing, I don't know, it looked like he was in a zoo looking at animals. So at first it was very strange and we would never react to it, but over time we learned that whenever he just shut up, that means that we should also stay quiet.
Yeah. One time I had a substitute teacher, and me and my friend, we were talking a lot. I was mostly talking, and she was just like, saying yes and stuff, because I like to talk. So, so he came over to us and said to my friend, not me, if you say one more word, I'm gonna send you out to exile. And she said, okay, and then he said, okay, that's one more word, you have to go to exile. And when he meant exile, that was basically that he took your table and he put it out to the hall, and he would make you learn maths in the hall, where everybody could see you. So he would like move your table out to the hall, and you would have to stay there and until you were ready. Then you could knock. But my friend, she was like a good student, and she never would talk and never would be loud. So she had never ever been like scolded by a teacher before. She was too scared to knock on the door, so she just stayed there the whole time while I was inside chatting away.
Have you ever been in exile yourself?
um, Not with him, because I don't know, he kind of liked me and never put me in exile. But many teachers have like put me like okay, I like to talk a lot and I'm loud, so of course I have been like made to go to the principal and like go outside and stuff like that, and I was not allowed to be in the class. But like I was always a good student, so like the teacher would like always like put me out in the out into the hall, but like they would always know where to find me, because I always went to the library and I read. Me and the lady at the library, we were best friends, and she liked to like collect books for me, and she would like, oh, Tordis, here are these books for you. So like we were friends. So like when the teacher had enough of me, he would just send me to the library, and then I would learn. But like I had a difficult relationship with another teacher. Like it didn't matter if I was talking or somebody, like okay, we were like a group of 5 friends who always sat together in maths. And it didn't matter if I was talking or somebody else, she always yelled, Thordis, shut up. Thordis, shut up. So one time I decided to play a prank on her. I was like, okay, I'm gonna sit with the boys in the other end of the room, and I'm gonna check if the girls are loud, if she's gonna say authorities or not. So I moved, and the girls were loud, of course, and but I wasn't loud because I was in the other side of the room, and I was like making an experiment on. And of course they yelled like, "Thirties, shut up!" But I was like, "Thirties," that's her name. "I'm over here," and she was so embarrassed. She was like, "Oh, but girls, keep quiet still." But she didn't even like say sorry or anything. And I was like, "I told you, it isn't always me. It sometimes isn't me." But like we had a really difficult relationship, and like I would always finish everything that I'm supposed to do in math, so I was always ahead. So I would always just leave the class because I didn't like her, and she didn't even want to like give me some extra credit work or anything. So she would just like leave me to do nothing in class. So what I would do is that I would go to a library, but then she started noticing that I wasn't in class, and we went to the teacher parent conference. And then she was like said to my dad and mom and dad like, "Thordis is never in class." And I explained to them that like, okay, I finished all of my stuff. You didn't give me anything else. What I'm supposed to do? Look at the ceiling. So what she did to fix that was that she put me in like special, like where like the kids that have difficult time with reading and like doing stuff. She put me in that room, and I was like, why would you put me in that room? It's just like, why? So she put me in that room with another teacher that I actually liked, but he would like give me extra stuff because I always finished everything. So yeah.
I also have a story where I would talk in class because I already finished everything. So that was when I was in my primary school, and I was very good at maths. Well, most of the time throughout all school. So it was like in the third grade, she gave us the exercises. I did everything, and I started talking because I had nothing to do.
Exactly.
And yeah, the boy that we were sharing a table with, he was very bad at math. So she would always shout at me because I was interrupting him because, well, I had nothing to do.
Yeah.
Well, that's why it's good to have a twin brother who's studying with you. That's when you're good at studying and you finish what you've been doing, you can turn around and help your brother. Yeah, that's what I was doing.
I have a story that also in maths, this was in 11th grade, I think. I was also doing my math exercises, and I came, like, did 3 exercises ahead of the class because they were doing the exercise with the teacher. And the last exercise, which I had to do the day, I didn't understand it. And at first, I tried to ask the teacher to explain to me, but she was too busy with the class. So I just took out my phone and started playing with it. And then she noticed, she came to me and she was very angry that I was playing with my phone. And then I said, like, but I have nothing to do because I've already finished, and you hate when we draw in our like notebooks. So what am I supposed to do? Because you're not explaining to me what I can do next.
Well, I have also a story about a professor from university. So when I started my first year, and we had a professor that was lecturing political economy, and it was a woman, and it was our first or second week of uni when we just started, like freshmen. And there was some conference also at the uni, and our like the coordinator of our group, she said, okay, I talked to the professor, and she said it's okay if you won't attend her first lecture because there is a conference I would like you to attend, so like you're free not to go to that lecture. So we were like, wow, cool, like we're skipping the class because we also could like stay for half an hour and go do our stuff, not stay for the whole time on that conference. Exactly what we did. We get together, the whole group, and there was like 34 of us, and we like went to chat and get to know each other better. But then, when we have another lecture with that professor, we come to the class, and she's like, and she always checks the groups. We had like the lecture was for the whole faculty, so it's like 6 different groups. and she's always checking who's present, who's not. And then she's like asking us, where is like my group, like 111? And we say like, we're here. And she's like, oh, now you like showed up for my class. And we're like, why? And she's like, because the next one, previous one you skipped. And we're like, no, we didn't skip. We're like, you said that we cannot come. I said, no, no one came to me and no one talked to me, so you skipped. So now you'll be like at my lecture sitting only in the first rows. You'll be, after every lecture, you'll be showing me your notes that you took. And she had this thing when she needed to draw something, like some schemes on the board, and she always picked up only boys to go to the blackboard and to draw them. Only boys, only from my group. And for example, when she also asked someone to answer some questions, she always picked up only people from my group. So we were like kind of afraid, so we tried to disperse like in the classroom, so for her not to see us. But every time she's like, where is 111? We're like, you're not sitting in the first row? You should come and sit in the first row. And we're like, and she always was joking that when the exams time comes, we will be the only group that will be passing her exam, like every single one, because we have a thing. If you like attended classes and start have good marks, you can receive like automatically a mark, and you don't need to pass an exam. But she said that we will come and we'll be writing her exam, and we won't pass. And then a lot of like vacancies that are low paid, like for workers, will be free, and we can go there, like McDonald's or something. And we're like kind of afraid. So imagine when the time for the exam comes, and we're like standing with our notebooks, reading everything before exam, and like every group passes her exam and comes out, and then it's our turn, and she says, you know, I'm so tired, I already give you automatically the marks. And we're like, we're the only group that didn't go to her exam.
Yeah, I also have a story about my exam. So when I finished school, we have exams for subjects that we choose, and one of the exams I chose was physics, and I was really nervous about that one, and I was sitting in the back because we have seats assigned, and I was doing my exam, which consists of three parts. First one is like to choose the answer. The second one is just easy exercise, and the third one is like those big questions where it has a lot of questions for one exercise. So I started the third part, and I was reading the first exercise, and somewhere in the middle of the exercise I just gave up because I was so nervous. I just turned on the last page and started doing the exam from the back to the front.
Well, I have also one story about university. It's kind of like how to become famous in the first week of starting uni. Well, we already told the story how like the whole faculty at least knew about my group because we skipped class, even though we were not knowing that we skipped it. But then next week we had English class in another building, and that building is like 16 floors high, and our class is on 13th floor, so we always took like elevator there. And when the class finished, we took the elevator down, and two of my group mates decided to jump in the elevator. So the girl started, and nothing happened. She's like, why nothing is happening? So the boys said, okay, let's jump together. And they jumped, and the lift stopped. Like, it was stuck. They're like, what do we have to do? And there was a phone number on the door, so we called it. It was quite a challenge because no one had service in the lift, but then the guy like kind of catched it, and he called, and the woman said, okay, I'll come. And then she like, I don't know, did her job, and she said, did you jump in the lift? We said, no, of course no. We would never do it. She said, okay, I'll try to open the door for you, and then you'll need like to jump out, because we were stuck in between first and second floor. We were so unlucky. But then like, she opened the door, and we one by one started like exiting, and we noticed that there were like people everywhere staying there and filming us going out of the lift. And we're like, Okay, now probably not only our faculty but the whole union will know about our group. And it was like that.
Well, I wanted to tell about our final day in our high school. We made like a bucket list because there were things in the school that we had never tried to do. For example, we climbed out of the window on our in our classroom, and there was like this cellar. No, cellar. No, what's it called? Like beneath the building. Cellar. No, is it called that? Okay, and okay, you could just you could just enter it like through the floor, and we never like actually noticed it until we saw someone going down there, and we were like, oh my god, we have to try this. So that was on our bucket list, and we did that. And when Thordis went down with her friends, we locked them down there. We closed the shutter and stood upon it, and it was kind of creepy for them, but funny for us.
For how long?
For
No.
like 10 minutes.
No,
You,
was it?
Yeah, it was like 10 minutes, and like there is no light there. I was lucky enough to have my phone, and like there is nothing down there. There's just like gravel,
Pipes and something.
gravel and pipes. So it was like kind of creepy.
And then we had to take a picture with it's called like the partner. He's just like the janitor in the school. He was like this man who everyone was afraid of. Like whenever you were sitting like in the main hall or something, and you put your shoes upon a chair or something, he would always come and see you. It was like you couldn't do it ever because he was always gonna like catch you doing it. And we got a picture with him. We rang the bell, the like school bell, that was on the bucket list as well. We played the piano in the library, so yeah, there's a piano in the library. We don't really know why, don't understand why, but yeah, we played the piano, and we sold something in the canteen as well. We asked just the ladies in the canteen if we could sell something, and yeah, that's about it, I think. But it was a very, very fun day, and we accomplished everything on the bucket list, which was very, very nice.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Was it in one day?
Yes, it was in one day.
It was just like we finished school early, and then we just did it.
Mm-hmm.
I also went up to the attic because it's like it's a very old school, so it's very normal for it to have like an attic that no one uses, no one goes to.
So you didn't come to school to have classes, you just came to finish your bucket list.
No, we had classes, but like in between the classes and after the classes, we just finished everything.
Okay.
I also have a story about like the stupid things we did. So in my school during winter they would lock our coats in one place, like underground. It's well like I don't know, just a place to leave our clothes. And whenever during the breaks we would like to go out or to go to the shop and buy something, they would never give the coats back. So we would just run to the shop because it was, well, cold in Lithuania. It's always cold during the winter. So we would just run around. Then they started locking the door during the break, so we couldn't go. We still managed to do that anyways. We also heard stories from the people who graduated before us that they used to climb out the windows when the teachers would lock the door. That's why the windows in the first floor didn't have any ways to open them when we were studying. Today we were talking about school and university life. Thank you for everyone who was listening. And this is it for today. Please come listen to us on Tuesday next week and the same time on Thursday. Bye.